Hey, today I'm using Melmetal once again with the exclusive move of Double Iron Bash, but this time I'm going to be in the Fantasy Cup Ultra League Edition. Now this was no ordinary run. The team that I used today got me 22 wins in a row. It was absolutely insane and a ton of fun to play. Now I have to give a shout out to a member of the community, Toshi, who made this team. Granted, the back line is the same, so he made Flygon and Giratina Origin, but I used Melmetal instead on the lead. Alright, getting into the first battle, we have Melmetal versus Granbull. This team was so good to run. I thought I was actually going to get a straight 25-0 run, and we're going to see what game broke it at the end, so stick around to find out how this team lost. But we're going to go ahead and just go for Double Iron Bash here now against Granbull. This Granbull does have Snarl, so we got to be careful about its energy gain as we do see them swap out into Scizor. So we're going to go ahead and go for Superpower right here as it does a good amount of neutral damage. And then we're going to be swapping into the Flygon once they throw this Night Slash, as we should be able to get pretty far ahead on energy. We don't want to be shielding our Giratina Origin. So we're going to go ahead and swap out into Flygon. Load up on some extra energy here. We will be tanking a Night Slash, but it won't be too bad. So we're going to go ahead and let it go through. Make sure we load up. And they got an attack boost. I'm like, that is the worst case scenario right now, because now this is going to force me to shield. I need to maintain positive switch advantage, and unfortunately, that boost might have just sealed the deal. So we're going to go ahead and go for Dragon Claw here, hoping that we can get or take out the Scizor, but they decide to swap out, and Granbull now is going to come in. So we can throw this free Earth Power. If this gets the shield, we're going to be able to land Double Iron Bashes. If it lands, now we have a possibility to Shadow Claw down maybe later on with Giratina Origin. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Dragon Claw right here. They decide to shield, so I swap into Melmetal right away and Double Iron Bash. If you guys run a Melmetal, you always need to store energy. Boom! Down goes the Granbull, and the final Pokemon is going to be a Genesect. So we're going to go ahead and go for Superpower. Again, really nice. Melmetal, I'm just telling you guys, if you guys can dance energy, make sure the health on Melmetal really doesn't matter. It's more important if you're at, like 25% HP, but you have 2 charge moves, you're going to be way more lethal than 100% health and 0 energy. So we're going to go ahead and farm down. They decide to surrender, so good game. All right, moving into the next one, we have Melmetal on the lead versus Scizor. So another pretty decent lead right here. We just got to be careful about the Night Slash, so I'm going to let them throw first because I don't want to throw Superpower and then get hit with a Night Slash that now does more damage. So we're going to go ahead, let that go through. I'm actually going to let a second one go through. I'm going to keep loading up on energy. We're at 100 energy basically right now, so we're going to let this go through, and now we're going to go for our Superpowers because it's just going to do a lot of damage. Now they got an attack boost right there, which is always very, very dangerous. So we go for the Superpower, we get a shield, now we're going to load up again, go for another Superpower, and this is where things could get very dangerous if they decide to double shield, which they don't. They decide to let it go so I can safely come in with Flygon. Now we are going to be seeing a swap out now into Giratina, which is beautiful because this Dragon Claw here is going to be doing super effective damage. This is a Giratina Altered, which is really nice for us because the damage output from Giratina Altered isn't as deadly as a potential Giratina Origin, right, Shadow Ball, right, but you still have to watch out for the Dragon Claws, and I found that some of them actually don't. We're going to see a lot of different battles today. I think the teams get more meta towards the end, I would say, or more consistent from what I found towards the end of this video. So the beginning has a lot of variety, but Dragon Claw here gets another shield, which is perfect because we should be able to shield their Dragon Claw and then load up, but I decide to let it go. The reason being, I thought, you know what, I could survive, and I would rather have a shield for Melmetal and Giratina Origin while still being able to take out Giratina Altered with Flygon. So that's why I decided to shield. It was a risky bet, and ultimately it paid off. Now this Scizor has loaded energy, but the boost is gone. Whenever you swap out a Pokemon, the boost, whether it was the attack change, whether it was a boost or a drop from Superpower, gets reset. So now we're going to be shielding this next Night Slash. The first one we weren't going to shield just in case they get the boost, right? And the final Pokemon is actually a Metagross. So this is going to be a good game. We can safely go for the Shadow Ball and one shot right here. And this is going to be, boom, a good game, very well played. Now, as we get in, I got a good amount of battles here. I don't have all 22 or 23 because of the 23rd one being the loss. But I kind of build up the teams that we're going to be facing off against. So it was a Lucario lead, which is bad, and they decide to stay in. This tells me that maybe they're weak in the back, so they want to protect their Lucario, so I'm going to go ahead and go for the shield bait here with Ominous Wind, and we get it. Now, unfortunately, no boost for me, but I will respect the potential Shadow Ball, and it was beautiful. Now, they decide to swap in a Haxorus, which is very interesting, because now we can safely no-shield a Night Slash. Granted, they should be going for Dragon Claw right here, but they go for Night Slash. My guess is, obviously, it's both do super effective damage, but the Night Slash has a potential to boost, but the Dragon Claw has stab. So what we can safely do here is shield their next charge move because they're going to be throwing on five counters. So I'm going to go ahead and shield. I'm going to overload on energy now. So 1, they get an attack boost. 2, 3, 4, we're going to go ahead and throw the Shadow Ball to take them out. So they did end up getting the boost, but unfortunately Haxorus is going to go down. Now the final Pokemon is going to be a Magnezone, so that's going to be a good game. Flygon is going to be able to take it here. We heavily resist the moves from Magnezone on our Flygon, and then we're just going to come in with that. They're probably just going to throw Wild Charge right away, blindly, thinking the Melmetal might come in, but Flygon's going to come in, and this is so heavily resisted, does nothing. And then Lucario now won't be able to get to a Shadow Ball in time. They will throw a Charge move, and my thought was like, I hope this isn't like close combat, but it's actually a power-up punch, which is fine. We can go for the Earth Power now and take out the Lucario, so that is going to be a good game. Very well played. Boom! And then Mud Shot down. All right, moving into the next one. We have Melmetal on the lead versus Steelix. Okay, this is pretty interesting right here. They decide to swap out into Solgaleo, so we're going to go ahead and come in with the Giratina Origin. Now, my guess is they're not going to be shielding, but I also don't want to throw Shadow Ball right away. So what I want to do is overload on energy, have a decent amount, and I want to maintain a good amount of HP, and I also don't want to get hit with another Psychic Fangs. So I decide to throw the Shadow Ball here, and we do take out the Solgaleo. Now in comes the Steelix, which is going to allow us to go for another Shadow Ball, just applying as much neutral pressure as possible. But the Steelix might prove difficult for us because it has Dragon Tail as a fast move. We will be able to get to Ominous Wind, which is perfect. If they were counting correctly, they know not to shield this because they should be able to survive, and they do. So that's a good call by them. Now, the question is, I think we got to come in with Flygon right here. I don't want to get hit with an Earth Power. I'd rather no shield the potential charge move here, and it is going to be, or an Earthquake, I should say, not Earth Power. And they decide to swap out into Reshiram, which is beautiful because we are going to be heavily resisting the moves here while we can do super effective damage with both Dragon Claw and Earth Power. So I'm going to go ahead and go into Dragon Claw spam. We're always going to be building up to the Earth Power to threaten, right? But ultimately, this is looking like a big win for us because Melmetal should be able to take this one. So we're going to go ahead and go for one more Dragon Claw. If we get the final shield, we go for Earth Power, and we do. Beautiful. So now this is going to allow us to go for Earth Power here to one-shot the Reshiram, and then we're going to swap into our Melmetal. Boom! Swap into the Melmetal, go for the superpower, close this game out. So that is going to be a good battle, very well played. All right, moving to the next one. We have Melmetal versus Registeel on the lead. So this is actually pretty decent for us. Our whole team does well against it, and they decide to swap into Giratina Altered. So I can't safely swap into this Pokemon right away. Both Giratina Origin and Flygon are going to take super effective damage, and you never want to come in to a somewhat neutral matchup, if we think about it, behind on energy, because all my Pokemon are going to be doing super effective on the back end. So what we have to do is let this Giratina Origin dump its energy. A lot of players will get complacent and not constantly overload, so at some point here, they're going to be dumping everything. And this is where I think, you know what, I might just be able to make it work. We're going to go ahead and keep that energy that we have. We're going to swap now into Flygon, and now we're in a position where a Dragon Claw, 2 Dragon Claws will be able to take them out, and we can easily survive one from them. So this is where we can start forcing shields from our opponent, because if they don't, we're going to be able to maintain switch advantage. And remember, our Melmetal has energy. That's what's so important that I want to emphasize to you guys. Now, They decided to no-shield that, so I have to shield this next Dragon Claw, and I don't think I can farm down with Mud Shot, but that's okay because they swap out into Tapu Fini. So now this is going to be a very tough situation for me. I'm behind on shields. I do have stored energy, and I still have Giratina Origin. So what we're hoping is to get to this next Earth Power, and it doesn't go through. Okay, we're going to make a 5-head play right here. We're going to come in with Melmetal, throw the double Iron Bash, and then swap into Giratina right away. Because they're going to throw the Surf. And it worked! Hopefully. Hopefully. This is a big risk, but we made it work. Whenever a player... you always want to wait to see what Pokemon comes in, and so I knew that they would wait and not tap right away, and because I had stored energy on my Melmetal, I knew I could throw double Iron Bash right away, bait them to throw the Surf, and catch it on Giratina Origin. Now, this game is not over. There's still a Registeel to take down, and there's still a Giratina Altered in the back, so we got to do as many Shadow Balls as possible before we do get shield. They do shield both of those right there before we get potentially debuffed by a Zap Cannon. So we're going to go ahead and shield, and it was the Zap Cannon. Our attack did drop. We can clear it if we want to, but we're going to go ahead and load up on energy. They decide to swap into Giratina Altered, so I decided to do 2 Shadow Claws and try to Thunder Shock down, but unfortunately, I couldn't. So now, oh, we both KO each other. Uh-oh. So now we got to go for Shadow Ball right away. Remember, we cleared the Zap Cannon debuff. We need to do as much damage as possible, and this is going to be a very close end game. Yes, Zap Cannon is resisted, but it's still a hard-hitting move, everyone. This is going to be a close one. The attack dropped as well for us. So now we go for the next Shadow Ball, and it's not enough to KO. It's going to be a race, but Shadow Claw should be able to take it. That's going to be a good battle. The Surf swap is what paid off for us right there. All right, we got Melmetal versus Registeel. Once again, this is where I was saying I started seeing a lot of consistent teams the deeper I went into my sets. So we will see them decide to stay in. So I'm going to go ahead and go for this Superpower now. Ideally, if I can time their charge move, I want to catch it on Giratina Origin, so we're going to see if we can do that, but no. They overloaded on energy, and we brought in a Alolan Sandslash, which is actually a very good situation, because now Flygon might just be able to sweep this endgame. So we go for the Shadow Ball, they decide to let it go, and now this is a situation where I can survive an Ice Punch, but they cannot survive Shadow Claws and Ominous Wind. So I'm going to get myself shield advantage. I'm going to go for the Ominous Wind now, trying to force a final shield from them, because if they let this go, I farm down to maintain switch advantage. And they decided to shield, which is fine. They're going to farm me down. Now, Bulldoze is a terrible move. It's garbage. Horrible. So we're not going to shield the first one. We're going to come in with Melmetal. We're going to let them throw. If it's Bulldoze, so be it. We can survive. But it's an Ice Punch. This now allows us to overload on energy and go for a double Iron Bash. So we didn't have to give up a shield right there because they were expecting us to shield. But we get the final shield from them, so now I will shield the potential Bulldoze. This is within somewhat KO range, so we're going to stop it. We're going to overload on energy and fully farm down. This is where Melmetal goes to town. Let's see what they bring in. They bring in the Registeel. They're coming into the wheelhouse of pain right here as Superpower. Boom! I mean, does like a quarter of its health. We're going to go ahead and shield. And then we're going to look to swap into, or load up on energy. They decide to swap into Giratina Altered, so we have to go into our Flygon now. And this is going to be a very tough situation for us because they are ahead on energy. Thankfully, Dragon Claw does a lot, so as long as I can do 3 Dragon Claws, I think we're going to be good because double Iron Bash is still neutral against Giratina Altered, but they don't. They go for a Shadow Sneak, and I'm like, are they running Ancient Power and Shadow Sneak? Oh man, that's going to be a rough time for them. Granted, in this situation now, had that been a Dragon Claw before, this is low enough health on Giratina Altered where we still win, because Shadow Sneak is not enough to take us out. But they needed to go for 2 Dragon Claws. I needed to go for 2 Dragon Claws. Double Iron Bash takes out the Giratina Altered, and then we have Superpower ready to go. So that is going to be a good game, very well played to my opponent. Boom, down goes Registeel. All right, Tapu Fini times. I think these last couple battles have Tapu Finis. Yep, here we go. Tapu Fini on the lead. Here we go. Now with Tapu Fini leads, what I found is that there was 9 or 11 times out of 10 a Registeel in the back, which automatically means our back line does incredibly well. So the only way we're really gonna like leverage this game and win is if we just let Melmetal go down and load up on energy with Flygon. So we're gonna go ahead and swap. This is where I'm learning. This is where I was learning the team. I tried to time the swap, and you guys are going to see in another battle how I do it better, timing the swap, because now I'm going to be forced to double shield right here. Oof! This is so unfortunate. It is going to be the Moonblast, and now we see a Giratina Altered come in. Mind you, there is going to be a Registeel in the back, so I'm planning this accordingly. This is what I'm seeing. It's going to be Ominous Wind, Shield Bait. All right, we got a shield for a good amount of energy. Now we go straight for the Shadow Ball. We want to even up these shields right here if we can, or absolutely chunk the health of Giratina Altered. All right, we even up the shields. The game is kind of back in our favor now because, yes, we're probably going to have Giratina Origin go down, but at least we can do a lot of damage with Shadow Claw and force them to throw energy. Remember, their Tapu Fini is out of energy and extremely low, so it's basically useless right now except for a Sack Swap. All right, we're reading Registeel in the back, praying for Registeel in the back. We got to come in with Melmetal now and load up with Double Iron Bash. Chip this Giratina Altered down, because what we want to do is close this game out with Flygon. As you guys can see, Double Iron Bash does a good amount of neutral damage considering this is a Giratina Altered. So we're going to go ahead and see that it is going to be a Shadow Sneak. We're going to look to go and swap now into Flygon, banking energy on our Melmetal. Why? Flygon's Dragon Claw can KO the Giratina Altered from this range, so they decide to make a beautiful swap. I said it was useless in the back, right? So I got to undercharge because they don't have that much health left, and now I can fully Mud Shot down, and this turned a bad situation into a very good situation. Stare at the top right. This is what you guys always need to do. Watch for what comes in. If it's Giratina Altered Dragon Claw right away, it's Registeel. We hold it. We overload on energy. This is the win condition for us, as we can go for Earth Powers doing super effective damage, and we need to delay this switch clock because they're going to be getting to the charge move anytime soon, so I have to throw Dragon Claw because I don't want to get hit with the potential Flash Cannon, which means I'm one Mud Shot away. I swap into Melmetal, go for the superpower right here to get rid of the Registeel. And now this is going to come down to Giratina Altered. We're going to go for Double Iron Bash. They cannot let us land 2. This is what's dangerous about a Melmetal. As you guys can see, 2 is going to KO, so they have to throw. I'm rhyming all the time today. Now, this is beautiful. It's going to be the Dragon Claw. It takes us out, 1 Mud Shot and a CMP tie, and we win. Beautiful! Flygon right here comes in clutch. Thankfully, the undercharging of the Dragon Claw against Tapu Fini was what was needed to win. All right, we got Melmetal versus Escavalier. Okay, we're swapping out right away into Giratina Origin, getting ahead on energy, and let's see what they decide to do. They're deciding to stay in. We can easily tank a drill run, so knowing that they stayed in just like Lucario, we're going to go for Ominous Wind here to try to get a shield bait, but they actually don't shield, which is very interesting. I'm like, okay, maybe they have multiple answers in the back for Melmetal. So we let it go, and it was actually just an Acid Spray, and in comes an Excadrill, so we're going to go ahead and go for the Shadow Ball. Now I'm going to risk it right here and say that Drill Run does not KO us. What a risk it was. We survive with 1 HP, able to get off the Shadow Ball right here, and it gets the Excadrill low enough, plus a Shadow Claw, where I can farm down with Thunder Shock, maybe? We're going to try. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they survive getting to the Drill Run, so I'm going to be forced to shield right here, but that's okay, because we have a superpower for the Escavalier coming back in. Right? We want to get that shield out of the way. If they let it go through, they're gone. So we get that shield. We swap into Flygon now, and they instantly swap into Reshiram. This is a good game, as the Flygon here with Earth Power can take it. So we're going to go ahead and shield whatever charge move this is going to be. It is going to be Fusion Flare. And now we can go for back-to-back Earth Powers right here to close this game out. So this is going to be a good one. Boom! Down goes Reshiram, in comes the Excadrill, so we're going to just go ahead and go for Dragon Claws, trying to force shields from them. We do get the shield, and now we can go for Earth Power right here, because we can survive a Drill Run if they go for it, but yeah, we survive. We're good. We're going to go for the Earth Power, but they decide to surrender. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. We got Melmetal versus Tapu Fini once again. Okay, we're going to play this one better. I need to play this one better. So we're going to go ahead and load up on energy and go for double Iron Bash. Now, last time I played the Tapu Fini, right, I tried to predict and catch the charge move, but ultimately I didn't catch it. So this time they actually throw on the surf right away. They weren't even messing around. So that's fine. This is now a situation where since they're going to throw on the surf, I might just be able to get a shield from them if I just decide to stay in and go straight for double Iron Bashes. So there's another one. I'm going to go ahead and go for another double Iron Bash. And if we get a shield, we're looking very good. So let's see if they do it. No, they decided no shield. So ultimately, I have to let this go. We're going to go ahead and look to come in with Flygon now and load up on energy with Mudshot. Now, let's see what they decide to bring in. It is going to be Giratina Origin. So Dragon Claws here do so much damage. It's like nearly 50% of their HP, and we are so far ahead on energy. Yeah, look at that. That's beautiful. Maybe like 40. And they decide to make a good swap now into Excadrill to catch the charge move here. So what I'm going to do is look to load back up to a Dragon Claw and now swap into, if I'm lagging a bit, swap into Giratina Origin to catch the charge move here, because ultimately my Flygon is the win condition. I'm not taking super effective damage from their Giratina Origin. I am doing super effective damage with Dragon Claw, so we want to have as much energy as possible, which is why I caught the charge move there. Now, double Drill Run isn't enough to take us out, or double Drill Run, as we can now go for Ominous Wind to try to force a shield from them, but they let it go. So Excadrill goes down. Giratina is back. It's 2 shields versus 2 shields. Flygon versus Giratina Origin. Dragon versus Dragon. And here we go. Dragon Claw gets a shield. Everyone's going to be shielding right away. They're going to be going for Ominous Wind, and if they get a boost, I'm going to be praying. So it's going to be an Ominous Wind. No boost, okay. We're going to go for another Dragon Claw here. We're almost at our third, which is going to cause the KO. And let's see if we can do it. Gets the final shield. Here we go. They get another Ominous Wind. We're going to shield. And my goodness, this is going to be a close one as Ominous Wind gets shielded. And they get the boost. I'm like, you got to be kidding me right now. This Dragon Claw is not going to be enough damage to take it out. Mudshot, please. 1, 2, 3. All right, we take it down. Beautiful. Let's go, Flygon. All right, moving to the next one. Melmetal versus Registeel here on the lead. We're going to go ahead and look to stay in. They swap into Giratina Altered, so we're going to kind of play this similar to what we did before, where we can't safely swap in our own Giratina Origin or our Flygon right away. We got to let this Giratina dump some energy, and we want to come out of here with loaded energy, like medium to low health on our Melmetal with energy, and their Giratina below 50% HP with not a lot of energy. So we're going to go ahead and throw these double Iron Bashes, get this thing low. They decide to throw like right away, and I'm like, I'm considering swapping. I'm like, should I do it? Now we're going to go ahead and load up some more. Trust in the process. Go for another double Iron Bash. Thankfully, we're only tanking Dragon Claws, which means I can dance this health and energy a lot better. And now's the time to strike. We're going to go ahead and let this go through, and then we're going to be swapping into Flygon right now to get to this Dragon Claw to take it out. Now, unfortunately, this was not a CMP tie. I couldn't get to it before them. So we're going to go ahead and let the Dragon Claw go through, load up on a little bit of extra energy, and now go for this one because this is going to be taking out the Giratina. Now, if they decide to shield, which they do, I'm like, that is so risky. I'm going to outpace you. I'm going to outdamage you. I am Flygon. Like, come on. We're going to go ahead and go for another one. And if this gets the final shield from them, they are in trouble because we get shield number 2. We can go for another one. I told you, don't mess with Flygon. Don't be shielding like this. It's a bad call. So we take out the Giratina Altered. What is going to come in? It's going to be Registeel. I'm like, what do they have in the back? Earth Power right here is going to be doing super effective damage. And this is looking to be a good game. We're going to be forcing them to throw their energy because they cannot farm me down before I get to another Earth Power. We have our Melmetal. We have Giratina Origin. We have a shield. This one had Flash Cannon. This is what I'm talking about, being scared of Flash Cannon. So we're going to go ahead and go for Superpower now. Get this Registeel out of there, and let's see what that final boom Pokemon is going to be. It's going to be Tapu Fini. So we're going to build up to double Iron Bash, always have a charge move ready, and come in with Giratina Origin. We can safely go for Shadow Ball and Ominous Wind and close this game out. And we decide to go for Shadow Ball first because you guys all know Moonblast has a potential, that small chance to lower your attack. We shield it, was the Moonblast, no attack drop as well. So now we can go for Ominous Wind to close this game out. And that is going to be a good battle. Very well played. Oh, man. This team putting in some work. We get the boost ourselves there at the end. Good game. All right, moving to the next one. Melmetal. Tapu Fini. Here we go again. Let's see how this plays out. We're reading Registeel and Giratina Altered. Very common team. Let's load up on energy. Going for our double Iron Bashes. We're going to go ahead and send the first one right here. We're going to read how they play this. Remember, the first player loaded up all, like, max energy. And then we tried to catch and it didn't work out. The second player that had Tapu Fini threw Surf like right on time. And now this one is looking to build up double as well. And we're going to make a really good call right here. We're going to go for another double Iron Bash because if they throw the Surf, that means they have 2. And if they have 2, they're going to what? I can't hear you. They're going to throw back to back, which means we catch it on Giratina Origin. Beautiful. Sorry, my children watch a lot of shows, and on those shows, they ask the kids questions and then get quiet for a little bit. But you guys aren't kids, but I want you guys to understand that play right there. Like, being able to know that, okay, they're going to build up to double Surf and throw back to back, which means we can catch one, save Melmetal, swap into Giratina Altered, and this is now looking to be an uphill battle for my opponent. So, we're going to go ahead and no-shield the first charge move. It is going to be its Flash Cannon. This is now dangerous because Flash Cannon does a lot of neutral damage. Thankfully, it doesn't lower our attack, so our Shadow Balls are still going to do a lot. We should be able to Shadow Claw down as well. And let's see what they have in the back. It's going to be Giratina Altered. So we're going to go ahead and go for a Shadow Ball right here. Now I should be swapping out. I shouldn't let them farm me down because this is a bad idea, but I have shield advantage. We're going to come in with Melmetal here and let them throw a charge move. I decide to go for double Iron Bash as well. I'm just going to try to chip the health, and I want them to dump some energy, and then I'm going to be swapping out into Flygon. So they go for the charge move, which is fine. There's just a little bit extra energy gone, and now we can come in. It's going to be Shadow Sneak as well, so that actually KOs us. I was hoping it was going to be Dragon Claw. They come in with Flygon, and this is now going to be a very interesting endgame because they still have Tapu Fini in the back. And this is what's so deadly about a Pokemon with 1 HP and a Dream. We have to double shield right here. It is going to be double Dragon Claws. We're going to load up on energy. We're going to go for the Dragon Claw right now. And now I'm going to predict that they're going to swap to try to catch the next one right away. So I'm going to overload. And I'm in my own head. And they swap. This is what ends me. This is what ends me right here. Because Tapu Fini catches the charge move. We have another Dragon Claw for the Giratina Altered. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh, this is so unfortunate. I should have gone for Earth Power. That's how it ended. That's how it ended right there. A beautiful catch by my opponent and me not going for Earth Power. Had I gone for Earth Power, we could have won. That was a mess up on me. But good game. But ultimately, that's how my run of 22 games in a row ended. I saw a lot of similar teams. I didn't show you guys all the battles because there is only so many Registeel, Tapu Fini, Giratina Altered, and Tapu Fini, Registeel, Giratina Altered teams that you guys want to see. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. This was by far my best team of the season. And again, shout out to Toshi for sharing his team on Twitter. I took the back line and then melded in my Melmetal to the front, and ultimately it did amazing. So, like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.